Hey there, guys. So, back with another movie review. I know I've been doing a lot of these, and to the boxing crowd, I promise I will get back to the boxing videos as soon as possible. The problem is that right now, within the next couple of weeks or so, there's just not a whole lot of fights that I've been interested in. I really don't really know what to talk about in regards to boxing. I mean, we had some great fights earlier in the year, and the big fights that are coming up later this year, like Triple G and Canelo and Povetkin and Anthony Joshua and whatever else is coming up, those to me are predetermined fights. I already know what's going to happen, and I'm not really that interested. So yeah, I will get back to the boxing video as soon as possible, but just I'm doing something a little bit different here. And in fact, I am actually planning to make a review for a boxing movie. I'm not quite sure what movie I'm gonna pick, but I'm gonna pick maybe a movie review for a boxing movie since I have a boxing channel. And I'm not really that into boxing movies, so I'll probably pick one of the more obscure ones. But anyway, let's talk about this movie. So earlier today, I decided to watch this movie, China Salesman, also known as Tribal Warfare here in the UK. Oh, man, I picked this movie up. I paid a fiver for this movie. And I where do I even begin, man? This movie, this is what you call, that this is a classic example of false advertising, complete and utter false advertising, luring people into buying this movie, not knowing what they're gonna get. Put it this way, this movie, it was just so. I mean, tone-wise, this movie had no idea what it wanted to be. It was nothing like I expected it to be. Now, how this movie was advertised, it was advertised as a over-the-top action flick starring Mike Tyson. So obviously, I was interested to see Mike Tyson in a movie, and Steven Seagal, who I actually do like some of his older work. Steven Seagal, I know a lot of his recent movies were pretty bad, but I do like quite a lot of his older movies. So I was interested to see how Mike Tyson and Steven Seagal in a movie together would go. It was just sheer curiosity. I mean, curiosity lured me into this movie, and I have to say that although there were a couple of scenes early on in the movie that I enjoyed, it was just pure false advertising. First of all, on the cover of this movie, you have a picture of Steven Seagal and a picture of Mike Tyson, and it says Mike Tyson versus Steven Seagal. It actually says that on the cover of this movie. That's the first 5 minutes of the movie. I'm not even kidding. They have one fight scene. There's one action sequence in this movie. One. And it's Mike Tyson. And like I say, this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know what kind of tone it wants to have. Does it want to be a comedy? Does it want to be an action flick? Does it want to be a drama? Does it want to be like sort of an espionage spy type movie? The movie doesn't know. Mike Tyson goes into a bar. He's doing some deal with these people who are associated with Seagal. Um, they tried to make Mike Tyson drink alcohol. He says, with some of the most worst acting I've ever seen. I mean, Mike Tyson's acting in this movie, man, was fucking atrocious. I have to say, it was terrible. Um, he refuses to drink the alcohol. So they say, oh, well, if you're not going to drink the alcohol, you have to drink piss. So they try and force him to drink a pint of piss. And he kicks the shit out of these guys for trying to make him drink piss. And then Steven Seagal comes in and tells these guys, you're all a bunch of assholes, get out. And him and Mike Tyson have a big fight. The fight was hilarious. To see Steven Seagal, just this big fat old 65-year-old man uh, avoiding and blocking Mike Tyson's punches while Mike Tyson's just going mental. Mike Tyson's able to punch through concrete. He breaks a fucking wooden barrel with his bare hands, and he's like a superhuman. And him and Seagal have a fight. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it. I actually had fun watching that scene. I really did. That was exactly why I bought the movie. It was to see stuff like that. The fight lasts a couple of minutes. Shock and awe. Like, I was completely shocked to see this. Steven Seagal gets beat. He gets knocked the fuck out. Spoiler alert. He gets knocked out. Steven Seagal gets knocked out in a movie. Can you guys believe it? I mean, this is a guy that refuses to lose a fight. in a movie usually. I mean, it doesn't matter who he's up against. It's never even competitive. You know, he always wins. It's never competitive with Seagal. But in this movie, he gets knocked out by Mike Tyson. Absolute shocked. Mike Tyson is the biggest badass of all time. He knocked out Steven Seagal. But yeah, that's the first 5 minutes of the movie. The rest of this movie is a fucking snooze fest. Steven Seagal disappears after that scene. You don't see him again for most of the movie. He's in this movie, I'd say nearly 5 minutes. That might actually be pushing it. I'm not even kidding. It might be pushing it. He's hardly in the movie. I don't know why he's on the cover. I don't know why he's even one of the high up guys in the credits, because he's hardly in the movie. He's basically an extended cameo. So yeah, it was ridiculous. For the rest of the movie, it's led by this Chinese guy. I don't know the actor's name, but he plays this sort of telecommunications guy. And the whole thing, it's supposedly a true story about how China brought telecommunications to Africa and all these countries. Like, you had the French, the Swedish, and all these people, you know, bidding on the rights to sell their technology in Africa. And you know, it's just so fucking boring. There's long ass talky scenes where they're sitting in board meetings, and it's editing between different board meetings and people talking on the phone about this technology and that technology and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, get to the fucking action. Where is Mike Tyson? Where is Steven Seagal? I want to see this fucking war. I want to see fighting. But Steven Seagal, like I said, you might as well. He's barely in the movie from then on. Mike Tyson's in the movie quite a bit more. Mike Tyson's actually one of the main antagonists in the movie, or at least until the very end. He is. Spoiler alert. Yeah, he kind of has a change of heart at the end of the movie. Why, I have no idea, but he does. You know, he's sort of like this tribal war chief who is actually in cahoots with, I believe it was it the French guy who was the one of the people bidding, and he was trying to eliminate the competition and whatnot. He actually starts a war in Africa between different tribes. You know, that leads to a couple of chase sequences which were fucking so poorly edited, so boring. There's even a scene where the Chinese guy, you know, he's going to repair this tower, this communications tower, which has been destroyed, because he has to, you know, they have to try and make a phone call, because for some reason, if they can't make a phone call to the president or whatever, they can't achieve peace. It makes no fucking sense. Don't ask me to explain it. My mind's boggled just thinking about it. So yeah, they try to go past the checkpoint, and they're like, "Have you got anything with a UN flag on it or something? Because otherwise, these guys are gonna shoot us." And then he picks up a Chinese flag, and because he has a Chinese flag, the African border patrol, or whoever they were, the checkpoint guys, let them past, and are like, "Hey brother, hey China, how you doing, brother?" And I'm just like, cringeworthy, man. This is cringeworthy. The acting from this Chinese dude, the main guy, I don't know what he's like in other movies, but in this movie he's terrible. His acting was cringeworthy, particularly when he tries to speak English. You know, when he spoke his own language, it wasn't quite as bad, but oh man, this movie was just so poorly paced, poorly acted, way too long. The movie was nearly 2 hours long, way too long for a movie like this. So much talking, like there's so many weird, choppy, edited scenes. Like there's a moment where you see this woman taking a bath, and it just comes out of nowhere. Like 1 minute she's on the phone, next minute she's in the bath, and I'm like, why is this even here? Like there's a scene where, what is it? Again, it's like a board meeting, but they're talking about, oh, we need to sack this guy because he's bringing us down. But oh no, we don't, because he saved our company in the end. And guys, this movie was just a snooze fest. I'm sorry, but how can a movie start out so entertaining and then just stop 5 minutes in and become like this? It was just such a boring flick, man. Didn't know what it wanted to be. Poorly advertised. Again, here in the UK, it's called tribal warfare. I mean, and everywhere else, it was China Salesman, which is what it was really all about. You know, this guy was a China salesman. But why it was called tribal warfare here in the UK, I guess they were just trying to sell it as an action movie. This isn't an action movie. There's a scene where all the guys are shooting. Like, there's a big war between these like tribal people and these guys on horses. And then all of a sudden, the communication works, and the China guy is able to make a phone call. they all stop shooting and they all start saying peace, peace. Like they were just killing each other. Seconds before this, they were at war. Now they're all like, oh wait, now we're at peace. Yay, yay, now we're at peace. What the fuck? This movie is so unusual. It was strange, guys. A really, really strange movie. I don't know what else to say about it, but I was excited for it because I thought that it was going to be Mike Tyson and Steven Seagal at war, and I thought we were going to see maybe they would buddy up or something, and we'd get like a real fun action flick. Because that's what the trailer of this movie looked like. It looked like a real fun action war flick with Seagal and Mike Tyson, but Seagal's hardly in the movie. Mike Tyson was his acting in the movie was atrocious. I don't know whether it was just because of the atrocious script that he was given, or whether he just can't act. Mike Tyson, I think I've heard from other people that he can act in some other movies. I know he was in like Hangover movies and whatnot. He was in one of the Rocky films. I think he made like a cameo appearance in Rocky Balboa, but I don't think he's a very good actor. This wasn't a great movie. I enjoyed the first 5 minutes. I'd give it a 10 out of 10 for the first 5 minutes because I was so entertained. But for the rest of this movie, nah, this was a very bad movie. I'd give it a 3 out of 10. It was just boring. I wanted to like this movie. I'll probably watch it again at some point. Since I have the DVD, I paid for it, so I might as well. And yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the first action sequence, so I'd probably watch that again. But this wasn't a great movie. I'd give it a 3 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think. And like I said, I'm going to review a boxing movie soon. And then I will get back to the boxing videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.